yourself?
I can feel you're a bit more tight.
I would say a bit more tight.
So I can feel your mouth is tight and your shoulders are tight. Can you feel that?
Yes.
And you're talking like this. Huh? I'm a somatic coach. And somatic means the listening to the body.
Yeah.
And when we listen to our body, we come back to ourselves and we can have very different conversations. So, what are you wanting to talk about this week?
Relationships.
So maybe that's why you're so tight.
Maybe.
So share with me. Share with me what's happening.
I don't know where to begin.
I can see sadness, isn't there?
Yeah.
How long have you been in a relationship for?
5 years.
That's a long time, isn't it?
Very long.
A lot of investment of time and emotion.
Yeah.
And things are a bit strained at the moment, aren't they?
Yeah. I don't know, it's like we don't want the same things anymore. You know, I want to finish school and be better, and he wants me to be home with him.
So you're at first year university
Yeah.
and you're in res and he's at home, is that right?
Yes. I go home weekends, but it's like when I go home, the whole week he will tell me how much he misses me. And then when I go home weekends, then he decides, no, he's gonna be with his friends rather. And then for me, it's like the only reason I go home is for him. And then he just leaves me there for like an hour, 2 hours. And I don't have friends at home. He's my only friend. And I don't ask him for anything. I don't expect much. I just want him to spend time with me. Because he has the whole week to spend with his friends.
So you're really feeling unseen and unvalued.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's like when we speak about it. And then the next weekend he's like, he stays inside with me. And then the weekend after that, then it's just back to normal, and it's the same every time.
When he stays inside with you, what is the tension like? What is the mood like? Is it soft like this? Or is it something more like this?
If I don't have to force him to stay inside with me, then it's fine.
Okay.
But if I ask him the whole time and I can feel he doesn't want to be there, then it's tense.
So you can feel that a lot of what he's doing, if he stays, is tense. And if he's tense, then he's not really present, is he? And thank you. Thank you for sharing about your relationship. And what happens when I sit like this and I say, well, I'm here just to make you happy?
It makes me angry.
And then I feel your anger, and what happens to me?
Then you also get angry.
The thing I'd like to share is a relationship is like a dance. It doesn't matter which partner does it first, but the moment the one partner disconnects, the other partner disconnects in different ways. And so then I might then blame you for your anger. Why are you getting angry at me? But I'm not necessarily realizing that I'm tensing up. And so many relationships act out in this way, in this silent way, in this reactive way. And when you ask him, please stay with me, how do you do that?
When I get home on a Friday, it's already late afternoon, early evening. So when I get home, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna cook us a meal. I'm gonna watch a movie, and then I ask him, are you gonna come sit and eat with me? Then he says yes. And then I slave in front of the stove, or I make whatever I have to make. And I put on the movie.
So, what are you feeling at the moment? What's happening inside? Just to feel what's happening inside of you. Are you open or closed?
It's like I'm choking.
You're choking. Okay. just for the listeners so that they can maybe observe for themselves. So I'm not saying it with shame or guilt. I'm just saying, can you notice it within yourself? You can. Okay. Oh, that's beautiful, because that's the first step in changing the relationship, is when we notice what is happening within ourselves, as opposed to purely just blaming the other. Because you're cooking and you're slaving over the phone and you're choking and your body is tensing and you're making me more scared. I'm now becoming more scared of you. And that then pushes me away. That then obviously pushes you away. If we can just begin to see how our own internal energy changes. And even between you and I, can you feel how that energy's changed? Feel that there's a bit of a tension.
Yeah.
It's not as soft and as warm and as smiley as last week. It's not as open. There's more of a kind of a guardedness, isn't there? Yeah. And so it's just observing that change of energy. So the first exercise I'd like to do is just breathe. We forget how to breathe, and we breathe shallow. And when we breathe shallow, we get more tense. So let us breathe shallow. My eyes get bigger, and I get more alert, and I get more tense, and more swicker and wacker of what's happening here. Now put your hand on your belly and just feel your belly. Just maybe rub your belly and feel it. Now breathe into your belly. And I'm wanting your hand, as you breathe, to move out. And then when you breathe out, for your hand to move all the way in. Yeah, I feel what's happening. And let's do it about 3 times in. You feel yourself relaxing. And now let's do a stretch. Oh, and a yawn. Can you maybe describe what the difference is now between you and I as to before we did that?
We are not so tense anymore. There's more of a connection now.
Lovely, beautiful. So what I want you to do is, with your boyfriend, see how you can first get the connection going.
Yeah.
Concentrate on getting the connection. Maybe lessen your resentment. Because the wording that you said is you slave over the stove.
Yeah.
So how can you, so that is your first trigger of resentment, that you're slaving over the stove. So how can you change that?
I don't know. Get him to help more.
Get him to help more. Yeah. Or does he talk to you while you cook?
No.
So can you invite him and say, while I'm cooking, I'd love to talk to you. I'd love to find out how your week is. Does that make sense? Because then you're going to take the slave of cooking away. And it's going to be a joy of cooking. And when you cook with joy, you invite and you include him.
Yeah.
But when you cook as a duty, as an obligation, as this is not slavery, you close and you alienate. We're in this reactive dance, and so when I soften, I invite you to soften.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that he will. He'll still have his reactivity. He'll still have his mistrust.
Yeah.
I'm wanting to just explain to the listeners the dynamic that happens in all of us. When we get scared, our body tenses. And as we tense, we go more into the energy of thinking, more into the energy of our head.
Yeah.
And what then happens is we start having conversations from our head. And the one conversation we had from our head is our fight and our arguments and our practicality of, I've cooked the supper and you're not there. The second conversation that often happens is I'm going to call maneuvering. And this is where I try and share emotions, but they're actually logical emotions. They're not felt emotions. I'd love you to come sit next to me. I love you. I love you. Come and sit next to me. But in the hostility of the voice, in the tone, It's such a mixed message as I'm saying, come and sit next to me, but stay away. And I'm just sharing my emotions. But in that, we're maneuvering away. We're creating distance. And so what I'd like to do is let's just go through a skill of speaking from our body, speaking from our heart, and how different that is. I'm wanting you to imagine going home. I'm wanting you to imagine going through the front door and there is your boyfriend. What is happening in your body?
I don't know. I'm gonna feel tense first. I don't know what to expect yet.
Okay. So you don't know what to expect. So you're going there with quite a bit of fear, aren't you?
Yeah.
And that fear, your mind is becoming more active. And if you were to speak from your head, what would you say to me if I was your boyfriend?
I would say hi. And then go sit down on my bed.
Really a warm hi, is it? For me, what I'm hearing is something like, ah, can you feel that?
Yes.
Yes. And can you feel how different your body reacts when I say, hi, how are you? Peter?
I can feel my body softening.
And what happens when it softens?
I feel more closer to you.
And there's a smile,
Yeah.
and you're more open to hearing me. Huh? Would you like to continue this conversation?
Yes.
Yes, okay. And when I say, hi Nikita, how are you? What now happens?
I'm gonna try to run away from the conversation. My body tenses, and then I start pulling away.
And I can feel that as you pull away, I want to pull away more.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen you all week. Don't you love me? Don't you miss me? Okay. And so that's a conversation that's happening from our head.
Yeah.
That creates distance. Beautiful. You feel that, don't you?
I don't.
Okay. This technique is talking about what's happening in your body. Okay. What I do is I close my eyes and take a deep breath in, and the first thing I feel in my body, I talk about that. I close my eyes and I take a deep breath, feel what's happening in my body, and I can feel my stomach is tight and tense, and so I'd say, hi, I can feel I'm a bit tense at the moment. What happens to you?
I don't feel like I want to pull away so much
Okay,
because you're letting me know how you feel.
okay, beautiful. So when we are able to share that inner feeling of our body, we create trust.
Yeah.
Because you feel my tension anyway. And I was to say, no, nothing's wrong. That is where your scare is. But you're saying, he is feeling tense. When you go home this weekend, just have a conversation from your body. What would that conversation look like? Let's just pretend that I'm him.
Honestly, I feel like I would just talk and he would just listen, but he wouldn't respond.
I will just look and I won't respond.
That I'm tense. And then I would tell him how I feel.
So before the tension, what's happening?
There's a lot of sadness,
So they're sad. Okay. And what else is there?
anger.
Anger. So you've just walked in, the door opens, and I'm sitting here doing what I'm doing.
It's the afternoon, baby.
Hi.
I missed you. I don't know, then I would just start crying.
So can you see how there's a part of me that wants to say, you missed me, but you were at university having fun all week while I was alone. What do you mean you missed me?
And then we would start arguing.
Yes, because I don't believe that you missed me. You see, there's no connection. So there what was happening was you were speaking from the fear of your head.
Yeah.
And I felt that fear of your head. And because you were speaking from the fear of your head, I reacted. What I'd love you to do is to try and speak from more what is happening in your body. And so how would you go home and open up the connection more? Let's talk from the body. So let's pretend that you're coming home again and just feel what happens in your body. And talk from within your body.
Baby, I'm tense and scared because every weekend I come home, then you're a different person. And I never know what to expect. So I dread coming home weekends. But I come because I miss you.
You see, the beauty of that is it softens me. I might still come out and attack you because I've also got my scare. And I don't know how to deal with my scare. And did you feel how? Yes, I know, and it's always your fault from your. I know, and I've been here all week, and it's your fault. With a greater softness.
Yeah.
And that the feelings were coming more from your body, and when you spoke then, I could feel you more. I could feel more connected to you. And in that more connected Nikita, it made me less afraid.
Yeah.
He might still have his own fears and react with blame. And if he does react with blame, go back into your body and share what that blame does. So I'm going to blame you and saying, yes, me too, it's all your fault.
I'm going to be angry.
Okay, so then speak to me what's happening in your body.
I can feel that that's making me angry.
Yes, it's your anger that does it. That's the problem.
When you say that, I can feel how I completely close up.
Carry on.
And I don't want to be here.
Thank you. You see, what's happening is you're not going into the argument of the head. And for me, I don't know how he would respond to that. I might then walk away. Or I might respond differently. But you're inviting him to respond differently.
Yeah.
And you're sharing with him what is happening in your body, and you're sharing with him why I'm closing up. Because you're saying horrible things about me. Will you give that a try?
Yeah.
And we can take it from there.
Thank you, Brian.
You're very brave.
I am.
Very brave. Thank you.
I try to be.
Thank you.